Most homes that do not sell were not only just priced wrong, they're usually always priced wrong, but mostly they're prepared wrong. And what's worse, no one told the seller the truth. They just went ahead and listed the house. Oh, it looks beautiful, when it has all these things that need to be done to it. And right now I've seen more homes expire unsold than back in 2015. They're just listed hoping they'll sell, and then they become like emotional landmines and financial nightmares. So if you're thinking about selling and don't want to end up as either an expired listing or with less money in your pocket, bleeding your equity and wasting your time, you need to hear what I'm about to say, because I'm the one they call after the damage is done. I am the expired listing queen. I've made a career reviving homes that sat on the market for 180 days and selling them in just 26 days. It's all in my book, The Home Selling Sharks. It's not just a theory, okay? And stick around, I'm gonna show you live examples of 2 listings of the many expired listings I sold quickly, and you don't wanna miss it, okay? It's a third of the way through. And you want to avoid what I call these home selling sharks. It might be funny looking at this thing like, what is these sharks? They're things that affect your value. I'm gonna give you a live demonstration. Stick around for it. So what's going on with these expired listings? What's the facts around these things? What are they? They're at their highest levels in years. Homes that were confidently listed with high hopes are now sitting stagnant, becoming neighborhood eyesores and emotional disasters for their owners. But here's what's really happening, and this is where I'm going to hurt some feelings. Happens all the time. That's why they call me the real deal. Most sellers are going into this process completely backwards. They're listing their home and then trying to figure out why it didn't sell and how I can make it now sellable after they've already exposed to the public. That's like putting on a performance and then learning your lines, something like that. I learned this lesson. I was just 5 years old, trailing behind my father through these really beautiful, pristine model homes that he built. He was a custom home builder. I talk about this at length in my book, Home Selling Mindset. It's my series of my Home Selling Sharks books. And everything was perfect. The walls were painted a nice harmonious color, a trendy color, strategic furniture placement. Not a single item was out of place. Maybe in the closet we'd hang like a negligee and it was nice and bare. But it wasn't full of stuff when you opened the door and things were coming out at you, right? It was done intentionally to help buyers envision their life in that space. That's when I developed what I call this model home mindset, and it's exactly what's missing, I think, from 90% of the listings that end up expiring on the market. That's because I've sold so many expired homes. Like I said, I've learned a living over it. When I got my first expired listing, I was just got into business. A home had been on the market for, I think, almost a year with another agent, and I walked through the door. I didn't even know what I was doing. And I saw wallpaper and clutter and chaos. But where the previous agent saw problems, I saw potential. I could instantly visualize what needed to happen because I had that model home mindset was burned into my brain. All I could see was model homes. So we have to make this look more appealing. We stripped the wallpaper. It was on the ceiling as well. We decluttered, painted everything in neutral tones, and transformed the home that was more of a lived-in house into a buyer's dream, something they could envision. All the really, really low costs. It sold in 20 days, above their prior asking price, when the average days on the market was 160 days. And this home had been sitting stagnant for almost 12 months. The work being done has to come back at least what was paid for it. I like to see 2 to 3 times that amount, because if you do nothing, you actually will get exponentially less, okay? That's very important to learn. It's not how much more you're gonna get from this return on investment on these things you're gonna do to the house to make it more saleable. It's how much money you're gonna lose. You lose so much more money. And attract the tire kickers, the bottom feeders. All the bottom feeders love expired listings. You know, people that homes that didn't sell. They love it. They go in there with a low offer, the seller's like, oh, I just need to sell, and they just dump it. Has that ever happened to you, where your neighbor just dumped their house because they just wanted to get it sold because they did nothing? So when you do the staging that I talk about in my books, the videos I'm doing here, say for example you spend $10,000, you will get that back at least versus doing nothing. That's all I'm trying to say. You might sell them for $30,000 or $40,000 less doing nothing. That's what I always say. You'll get exponentially 3 times less than doing something. Sometimes you do the work so you just don't lose thousands. Do you get that? So in essence, spending $10,000 gets you 2 to 3 times more because you do not lose the money, and you usually get more money anyway. It's easier for me to take photos of your home when it looks really clean and neat. Agreed? Put your comments down below. Tell me what you think about this. So, do you want to avoid becoming an expired listing when your home goes on the market and you don't get eaten by what I call the home selling sharks? Well, let's go with it. I think there are 3 non-negotiable, let's call them pillars, ideas, whatever. 3 things. Just learn 3 things today. Number 1, you need to start earlier than you think. Earlier, way earlier. This is where most people get it wrong. They think preparation starts when they call the realtor. No, true preparation starts when your realtor, someone like myself, comes over years before you list your home. You need to get your real estate partner in your home for your room-by-room review, and you can read all about it in my book, The Home Selling Sharks. Watch the videos I've done about this. A whole chapter in a book just for this. Just comment below if you want the link to the room-by-room. I can do it for you virtually if you don't live in my area. 30-minute on the phone with you, looking at your house and telling you what to do. And then I can find you the realtor who can follow the steps to make sure you not only become that home that didn't sell, an expired listing, and you won't get eaten by the home selling shark. So I have home sellers I'm working with right now all over the United States, besides here in Pennsylvania. I've had clients here in Pennsylvania start preparing their homes with me for sale 5 years before they were ready to move. Sounds crazy, but they made so much money when they sold. I can remember one specifically of our clients sold for like 15% or more over our initial estimate because we had time to strategically make those improvements gradually, without pressure. And contractors, at times when the contractors weren't so busy and in the panic of some looming listing date. So what does that mean? Well, for some homes, that meant making a half bath turn into a full bath, or installing another bath in a place where it can be easily done for inexpensively. New kitchen countertops or vanities in the bathrooms, things like that. So in this pillar, I created what's called a garden method that represents time to spend on what matters the most to you when selling your home. What matters most to you. The garden method, G, gauge your market trends early. See what the trends are. And then, because I get started with you so early, we can keep on the trend and keep researching what's going on. A stands for assess your home honestly. I mean, really honestly. What's really happening here? Is your home really that great? Somebody else's eyes on it. R in garden stands for renovate strategically over time. It's over time. Not happening right today. It's happening over time. Save thousands of dollars doing it that way. The D, I call it document every improvement. Start taking photos before, after. Make a list of everything you've done. It's so valuable when it's time to prepare an offer to a buyer of your offering of your house to a buyer. They like to see the whole list. And the E stands for enhance curb appeal gradually. Remember, I take photos of homes. If you don't know me, I do photo exterior pitch photos outside of your home, way before your home goes on the market, when it looks its best on the outside. Store them on my computer, and then I have them. That's why we say enhance curb appeal gradually. You just want to get it done, so about a year before we take photos, stick them in the computer. Then you always have fabulous exterior photos because the buyers are searching through online and they only look for great stuff. They only want nice stuff. And buyers, they don't want to do anything. They want it all done for them already. So it's good to have it done and show it. And the N stands for nurture your home's value consistently. Nurture it by presenting different things you could do. Paint here, maybe put a light fixture. It's consistently looking at it. Because most sellers, what happens, they wait till 2 weeks before their listing to start this process. And they wonder why their home looks like every other desperate listing on the market. That's why starting earlier than think is so important. So now that you thought earlier, now it's time to find your second pillar or thing to do is find your real deal realtor. Because here is another brutal truth. Your cousin's friend who does real estate on the side is not, I say not qualified to handle your most valuable asset. You need someone who eats, sleeps, and breathes listings. You need a listing-based realtor who has a listing-based business. And this business is filled with a team of professionals who can jump in and create the final product, the plan that was created by your Real Deal Realtor. The Real Deal Realtor does creative marketing and negotiating. Everything else is done by a team. And when I work with expired listing, I don't just get the new listing and slap a new price on the same problems that are there. I see that all the time, where a seller relists their home with a new realtor, thinking it's going to be different. Sometimes even prices it higher, with the same different awful photos, no marketing, just an agent hopes that the seller will reduce the price. They prowl on the knowledge that the seller has to sell and someday they'll get paid. They don't care when. Instead, what I do is more of a forensic analysis on why the home failed. Was it overpriced, understaged, wrong target audience? There's a lot of things that could be wrong. So let's analyze this, and I'm going to show this to you in a few moments. Please stay with me. I got these great examples. So what's my method? I call it the HOMES method, H-O-M-E-S, HOMES, to revive dead listings. First, like I said, honest assessment. H stands for honest assessment. Honest. Your realtor needs to be honest with you. What went wrong? Over the whole analysis, ask you thought-provoking questions to understand what happened in these chain of events. Understanding everything, understanding what's important to you. And the O stands for optimized staging, to maximize appeal each room. That's why I do a room-by-room review. Because if I go into one room, I might say, I don't know what to do in this room until I look at all the other rooms. But here's what we could do. And the M stands for market analysis for the competitive pricing. You know, what's reality here? Most of the time, the seller has not been told the truth, only that the agent said the home couldn't sell for this high amount, and then it didn't, got eaten by the sharks, and they hoped the seller would reduce the price low enough so they can get paid. That's the listing plan that most realtors have. And the E in HOMES stands for effective marketing to reach qualified buyers. What I'm saying qualify is the target market. Taking a look and see what is the target market for this particular home. And the S in the word HOME stands for strategic negotiations to close deals. Because your Real Deal Realtor is the one who does the HOMES method. The team does everything else. They just do whatever the Real Deal Realtor says to do. So you need a Real Deal Realtor, needs to be creative, have a vision of the final product that they can sell, then price it to attract the target market for that house. And then understand how to spin it. How do you spin that off to buyer? How do you negotiate? How do you talk to the realtor? Do whatever it takes to get the highest price for the seller and the best deal. Maybe it's a specific settlement date, maybe whatever it is. There are a lot of things you can negotiate, but you need to understand what the seller's needs are. That's what I do. We do our best when our clients just leave town, give us the keys and we'll handle everything. Because we're totally committed to the outcome. And it gives us a space to be creative and come up with solutions that bring buyers in. It's not because I want to list your home and make money and just hope for the best. This is about creating a systematic approach, the HOMES method, that makes buyers fight over your property, no matter what type of market we're in. But you have to be able to price your home and stage it where it needs to be. And lastly, number 3, you've got to have this. You got to have the win-win-win mindset. You cannot go into this process with maybe it will sell attitude. Do you call your realtor and say, I would like to maybe sell my house? You just need to go in with the mindset of winning. I don't just mean selling, because anybody can sell a house. I mean creating a feeding frenzy where buyers are lined up outside your door. It can still happen. When the average is selling for 150, 160 days and you sell in 20, 26 days, it's not because you priced it too low when you work with me. It's because we did all the things necessary. The decluttering, fixing little things, and then priced it well. I even have a page on my website with a few clients who went through this process and their story. I've got hundreds of those. So where does it start? It starts with divorcing yourself from your asset, something you bought years ago. It appreciated just like a stock. Then you have to have the vision to see your home not as it is, but what it could be and where buyers want to see it. It means understanding that every single detail matters, from the smell when buyers walk into the home, the temperature of the room, and how the light hits your living room at showing time. I have hundreds of great stories of winning from the first time I put the home on the market. That's why I'm doing this video. Show you do not have to be an expired listing when you go on the market. Let's not go in with that. Start with authority, like a Broadway premiere or a movie. You plan for a big box office hit the win. Now, gosh, after all these years in real estate, I'm here on YouTube kind of spilling the beans. Once a beautiful secret, but now exposing the truth about expired listings as being the expired listing queen, and why you need to follow my instruction when it comes to hiring a realtor. Or let me hire the realtor for you. That's what I do now. I not only direct my listing team, I'm also a listing-based realtor here in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. I now help hundreds of future home sellers like you on YouTube all over the country. Maybe your home was on the market and didn't sell, I don't know. But I can help you be successful when selling. I realized I can sell a home anywhere with my home selling shark system. When about, 20 years ago, my sister-in-law was in Dallas. She was trying to sell her home. I looked at it, gave her my tips, she went and did things, and it sold within 2 weeks after 8 months on the market. That's when I realized I can do this for anybody, anywhere, and I started becoming that Real Deal Realtor referral agent. They do call me the expired listing queen. 26 days was my average after being on the market for 150, 180, 250 days. So people kept calling me when things didn't sell. So you just need to get real, guys, and get off your, oh, my home is so nice, I don't believe anybody didn't want it. Well, no one thought so. So you gotta make a change. And here's what you've been waiting for. I'm gonna tell you exactly how the model home mindset works in real life situations. This is where the magic happens. So check out this video I did for you. I shared my screen and I did it showing you all the different pictures that we did and before and afters. Check it out. Hey guys, here we are. This is a real life example of Diane did it again. Yes, I do a lot of expired listings. I'm the one they call in the doctor when it doesn't go well. So here's an example. I'm gonna give you 2 examples. First one, 939 Rydell Road, sold in 2 days after the on the market for 6 months with a traditional realtor. Let's take a look at what we did here. So first I'm going to show you what photos, they did outside photos first. As you can tell, the outside photo is a little bit pixely and it's dark out, it's not blue sky. And then they took this awful picture of the front of the house. It was like, gave no character at all. The green shutters, and it just showed a lot of the green. It just didn't give, the house is way bigger than it looks from the outside. So we did is we put an aerial photo. The house is right here. So we did an aerial photo first. And they're like, oh, what house is it? So they keep checking, clicking to the next photo. They wanted to know what's the next photo. And then this photo is going up the driveway. It's a sunny day. And it looks like it's really back, tucked in and very private, which it was. The other photo wasn't doing it justice. I never showed a front photo, like a real front. Now they showed a picture of the back with the green siding. The green siding was bad. And they showed it off and it was a real upfront photo. And that, wasn't good. So we took a photo from the other side. You really couldn't tell the green as much and it looked, wow, that house is much bigger. You can see the difference, right? That house picture, the other picture. Now the inside, they had this picture and they didn't have any furniture in here. We moved a lot of furniture around and we took off. We never have rugs on the floor unless there's just throw rugs. And we took this off. So here's what we did is we did this and we put a table from the other room and put it in here and then got rid of it in that room. And it looks much wider. Like, wow, look at the opening right to the kitchen. It looks much brighter. All the photos are brighter. Here's a picture of their kitchen. They had stuff all over the kitchen table. The door was closed. All the kitchen counter had stuff all over the counter. And it was very dark. What we did was we brightened it up. We took the tablecloth off. It was a glass table. We took off the setting. We don't need to have a set table. And all the stuff off the kitchen counter. So you can see the difference between something like that versus that. And the door open, welcoming them outside to the beautiful private backyard. Much different effect, right? Then they had this big family room, this beautiful room with a fireplace, and they had this piano and this awful pink rug, and that table back there, we took it out of there, we put it in the other room, and we showed it more like a very nice emptier room and open without the pink carpet. Put the pink carpet downstairs. Seller was on vacation, came back like, okay, where's all my stuff? So we just stuck it all in the garage, and just to take the photos. So much better than this is this picture, and it invited people in, and that's why we sold it for more money. The basement, they took a picture, made it look very small, right? It's close in versus a picture that we took with a wide-angle lens, look at that same basement. You can actually see the door going out here, the bathroom in here, and all the way back to the back. And these are really cool barn doors. You can actually see that. The difference between that and that. Much better. All right, next example, Acorn Lane, Huntington Valley, sold in 3 days after they're on the market with 6 months with a traditional realtor. This is one mistake that happens all the time, where the realtor lists the house like in March and never changes photos all the 6 months on the market with them, just keeps dropping the price. So here's the photos. I believe they said it was like March or early April. And it's dull and dingy. Again, it's a picture straight on. Again, never take a picture of your house straight on. Right or left. Everyone has good side and bad side. Front is never good. Then they took a picture of this, like a dead old tree, and it was like the air conditioner. Like, what was that? Why? It was not even the good side of the house at all. It keeps coming up. Hold on here. Quit this. And this is the backyard. It shows a grungy patio, dead trees. It's horrible. You know, terrible, absolutely terrible. And then I took a picture of this. Right? That was their pictures. Okay. And then we started off with this picture. They didn't know which house it was, right? Happened to be this house here. It's a corner lot, so it's not the best having a corner lot, by the way. Too much sidewalk, too. A lot of sidewalk. But then we showed an aerial photo showing the nice sidewalk going up and how big the backyard was. You really couldn't tell that in any of the other photos. We also had her take down the tree out in front, that awful dead tree. All I did was just cut it right down. And that was a nice side angle, right? Side angle versus a front angle. Front, no. Side angle, yes. Always on the side. And then we took a picture looking out. This was my idea. Hey, let's take a picture looking out from the patio outside, showing how nice private is across the street. There's not another house facing you. It's just the side of a house. And it showed that there was a lot of privacy. You could sit out on your front porch and not have to look into another house. Okay, as we go inside, this is a picture of their kitchen that they took. Shades are down, dark outside, grungy picture, and also the lots of pillows out there. We just took that photo and made it a little brighter, took all the drapes off those, and then took all the pillows off, most of the pillows, and just was brighter. I can't believe people actually list houses like that, and it actually was taken with her cell phone. All right, here's the living room. These valances are dated. They gave her no tips of what to do to sell the house. If you notice this brown on the railing and the brown trim and this putty, awful color that was of the 80s. And then we took it and took the valances off, painted everything white that was brown and all the trim white that was putty, no longer. So if you see the difference online, someone looks at this picture and look at that picture, they're more inviting to come in. Now today I would just AI furniture. I won't even use anybody's furniture anymore. We just use AI because people don't want to look at your furniture. They're not buying your furniture. Hello. All right, dining room. Again, wallpaper, the tablecloth on, never have a tablecloth on, and then the valances, curtains, and all that other stuff on there. We just took it down and did this to it. This versus this, more inviting, correct? All white trim, look beautiful. And then we have a bedroom. It was a bedroom over the garage picture. It was awful blue. That's what they showed. They actually had this picture showing. Do you believe that? And now we painted it. At that time we were using desert, something romantic desert or something, and that was a cool color. Now we're using baby fawn, a lighter beige. And the master bedroom was this. I mean, come on, that was it. That was like, you didn't do anything to that photo. You actually showed that picture. The difference. I mean, the realtor should not have done that. And they also should have come out and taken pictures, different pictures, you know. So there's some great examples right there that were expired. And here's an example of a house where we did some really cool stuff on Hunters Lane. Sold in 1 day. I negotiated $29,000 over the list price and $70,000 over what the other realtor said it was going to sell for, $250,000. We actually got $320,000. Yeah. All right. So we took some aerial photos. The other realtor never came in. She just had a contract signed and then found us and then said, no, I want to hire Diane because she's going to. I also lended them the $10,000 to do all the work in the house, and they canceled their contract and came with us. So here's what we did with the basement. They were going to show it this way. This is a picture that they were going to show online with that cloth there. They didn't even want to remove the cloth. And we did the bathroom. We did this room with the paneling. We just took the paneling and we took it and painted the paneling. There's see a difference there, and made everything white. And then the other back room, we took all the flooring off, and that's what the picture was. And then we did that, and we painted the garage, all that just for $10,000, and we sold it for $60,000 more. Okay, so there were some before and after photo showcase. Hope you enjoyed it. Wow, wow, wow! Wasn't it great? So what's that strategic transformation approach that you use? I said it to you before. First, brutal honesty assessment, right? Walking through your home like a buyer would, looking for every flaw, every distraction, every reason to say no. It's not personal, it's business. 2, strategic staging plan. Don't just rearrange furniture, we create emotional experiences. Every room needs to tell a story that makes buyers think, I could live here. 3rd, market positioning. That's what I love the most. Your home isn't just competing against other homes, it's competing against new construction right now. The number of new construction homes that aren't selling is a lot, you know? You're also competing upon people just not doing anything right now, like especially in this market. Or buyers' fears and hesitations. There's a lot that's going on, especially in this market. When you're shifting to a buyer's market, this is what happens, or if you're in a buyer's market. The 4th phase, marketing blitz. Once your home is perfect, we create a marketing plan that makes people need to see it immediately. These are your 4 phases. Honest assessment, strategic planning, market positioning, and then blitz it out there. That's what needs to happen. So lastly, I want to talk about mistakes, because if you know these common mistakes that create these expired listings, maybe you won't be one. These mistakes will guarantee your home will become an expired listing, and you'll join the crowd. Do you want to do that? I don't think so. Mistake number 1, emotional pricing. Your home is not worth what you paid for it plus improvements. It's not worth what you need to buy your next home. It's worth what buyers are willing to pay in today's market, in this market, and in this condition. I see sellers price their homes based on their mortgage balance or their emotional attachment. The market doesn't care about your feelings. It's a big one. Mistake number 2, living in your listing. You can't live in your home and successfully sell it unless you're willing to live like you're in a model home. That means no dishes in the sink, no personal photos, no daily clutter. I tell my clients, you're not living here anymore. You're managing a product for sale. Mistake number 3, bad photography. If your listing photos look like they were taken with a flip phone or a cell phone, you've already lost. In today's market, 95% of the buyers start their search online. If your photos don't make them want to see more, you're done. That's why I get the photos of the outside of the house years before, so I can have nice photos. We plan for the photos. You can plan for exterior photos. Okay, it's so important because they're the first few photos buyers look at of the outside. Mistake number 4, the wrong agent. Talked a lot about that. That's the hard truth. Not all realtors are created equal. Your home is likely your largest asset. You wouldn't trust your retirement fund to someone who does investing on the side. So why trust your home sale to someone who wasn't 100% committed to excellent, who's not a listing specialist, who's maybe a buyer agent. I did a great video about don't hire a buyer agent to sell a listing. This doesn't work. Mistake number 5, poor timing. Markets have rhythms, buyer behavior changes weekly. So listing your home at the wrong time can cost you months and thousands of dollars. I could talk about that all day. But here's what you need to do right now if you want to avoid becoming an expired listing. Get honest with yourself. Like I said, the first thing in my thing is H for homes, honest assessment. Walk through your home and list every single thing that would make you hesitate if you were a buyer. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't make excuses. Just write it down. And if your realtor who you bring in isn't pointing out things that you don't want them to point out, then don't list with them. Number 2, start preparing now. Even if you're not planning to sell for 2 years, start implementing the garden method. You remember that? Your future you will thank your current you when your home sells in days instead of the average, which is months. Step 3, find the right partner. Meet someone who will tell you the truth, even when it hurts. I said this already. Someone who's proven system for success, not just good intentions. If you're in my market area and you're serious about selling, not just thinking about it, not just curious, but serious, let's talk. I only work with people who are committed to doing this the right way. I can find that person for you. And make sure you educate yourself. Subscribe to the channel because I want to keep giving you the real truth about real estate. No fluff, No false promises, just the strategies that actually work. I also host these future home seller seminars, if you've seen it online, where I break down current market trends and share advanced strategies. Links in the description below. And step 5, just take action, guys. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. You can watch every video on YouTube, but until you actually implement these strategies, nothing changes. Look, I know I've been a little tough on you today, but because I care about what's happening with your home sale, the outcome, not your ego. I'd rather give you the uncomfortable truth now that you sit in silence later thinking, why has my home not sold? The market doesn't reward emotion. It rewards clarity and strategy and execution. I know, I can tell you, success isn't luck, it's a pattern. Families who plan ahead, who listen, who are coachable, who treat their home like a serious financial transaction in the home selling process, they win every time. The people who ignore the warning signs, they become cautionary tales. So ask yourself, are you building your strategy or are you hoping for the best? If you found value in this video, like and subscribe. But most importantly, you gotta watch the next video, this one right here. If you're really serious about your pricing strategy, because I find it like pricing is usually the most thing that isn't working, you need to watch this next video. The #1 lie agents tell sellers, it's about your price. It's a total deep dive into one of the most common and costly traps sellers fall into. Watch it now so you can avoid the pricing pitfall that leaves so many homes just sitting on the market. Click on it now, your equity depends on it.